Drops! So that people don't know, I have very dry eyes. Folks, if you are just tuning in and you are voting for Donald Trump, join the guest request. Let's have a conversation about that. I want to know why you're voting for Donald Trump. If you're voting for Kamala Harris, though, please do me a big favor. Hit that follow button, hit the like button, hit the share button. Help us boost this live stream out on the algorithm so that we can get as many folks in here and turn out the vote as much as we can before Tuesday. Because the day after tomorrow is election day, and I mean, listen, guys, day after tomorrow, we're going to be a few hours out from voting being over. So again, if you are voting for Kamala Harris, hit that like button, hit the share button. If you're voting for Donald Trump, join the guest request. Let's have a conversation about it. And if you have already voted, let me know in the comments below. I want to know how many of you already voted. And if you're voting on Tuesday, share that as well. Who's already voted now? Let's see. Oh, that's exciting. That's a lot of people. Whew. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, guys, if y'all are voting that fast, MAGA Republicans are going to start saying, stop the steal! Stop the steal! Ugh. Folks, we're almost at 10,000 likes. You're liking too quickly, too. I mean, MAGA Republicans, they're going to see that like button going up. They're going to start saying, stop the count! Stop the count, it's too many likes. They're sending likes from Mexico. Let's give it a minute, and then we're going to get started, okay? Again, if you're voting for Donald Trump, join the guest request. Let's have a conversation about it. Again, folks, if you're voting for Donald Trump, join the guest request. Let's talk. If you're voting for Kamala Harris, hit the like button, hit the share button. I'm not looking to talk to Kamala Harris supporters right now. If you're like me and you are voting for Kamala Harris, we're going to conversate a little later today. We're going to have a lot of conversations later today. I am just looking for opposition right now. So again, if you're voting for Donald Trump, join the guest requests. All right. Hello, guest. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
Hi. Okay, so I am...
Kirsten, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate it. And
Hello?
I might need more mods. Do we have any mods on right now, by the way?
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
I have two questions for you.
Are you voting for Donald Trump? That was my question for you.
Well, I am not able to vote because
All right. So I appreciate that, but I'm not looking to talk to people who are not able to vote. Let's get up our next guest. If you're voting for Donald Trump, join the guest request. Christy, I appreciate it. Let me make sure that you have mod power.
I'd cut your hair off, you big old fat nigger, you stupid old nigger. You big old fat gay nigger. You big...
Okay, I get that MAGA Republicans think by spewing that nonsense on my live stream, it's going to get me, kicked off the live stream. I have too many TikTok connections for that to happen. So let me assure you, MAGA Republicans, the threat that you just sent me, that's going to be looked into, and that will be reported to law enforcement. Hi, my name's Johnny. I'm a digital strategist. This is what I do. That was the wrong move. Let's get up our next guest. And he sounded very stressed. Why did his voice was shaking as he did it. Hi, are you voting for Donald Trump?
No, Johnny, I just want to come here first.
I appreciate the love. I really am just looking to talk to Trump supporters right now. The issue is, folks, that we are so short on time with the election being just a day away, right? The election is the day after tomorrow. That when I'm telling you, I'm just looking to talk to Trump supporters, folks, okay? I really just got to talk to Trump supporters. Will, hi, are you voting for Donald Trump?
Yeah, why are you only talking to Trump supporters, though?
Because I am just looking to talk to the opposition so that we could educate voters who are listening in. Again, we will talk to Kamala supporters later today, but I'm just looking to talk to Trump supporters right now, folks, okay? We really don't have the time right now. Hello, Emily, are you voting for Donald Trump?
Yes, I am.
Gotcha, and why so? Why are you voting for a criminal?
Well, mainly for economic reasons. And
oh, gotcha, yeah. So just forget that he's a sexual abuser, civil fraudster, and felon. Let's vote for him because of economic reasons.
Are we here to debate or talk
sense.
over each other? His plan for tariffs is genius.
His plan to what?
put more taxes on Chinese tariffs and replace our federal income tax through those taxes on tariffs.
No, that's a tax on the middle class. He wants to do a
No.
six. What are the tariffs he's going to put on China?
erasing
What
our
is the
federal
tariff?
income
Excuse you.
taxes.
No. What is the tariff he's going to put on China? Go ahead.
What are you talking? We already have.
What is the
tariffs on
tariff
China.
he's going to put on China?
We already have tariffs.
Nope. He's looking for different tariffs here,
China
sweetheart.
has-
Do you know it or
no.
not? He's
No.
looking for different tariffs, sweetheart. Do you know what they are or
Talking
not?
About different tariffs. A tariff is
All
a
right. So
code-generated
all tariffs are not the
product.
same. All tariffs are not the same. There are
It's a
different
tax-
percentages. There are different
tax on
percentages. Ma'am, there are
Tax
different
on
percentages.
tariff.
Ma'am, there are
Chinese
different
goods.
percentages. Ma'am, there are different percentages. What is the percentage? What is the tariff he's going to put on China?
10% tax.
Nope. That was
10%.
wrong. I hear you clickety-clacketing at your keyboard. How do you not know this? And mind you, if I want to have a conversation with Google, I'm going to cut out you as the middleman because I don't need to hear your ignorant voice. I would just go straight to Google. Do you or do you not? He's going to put on China.
First of all, on my computer.
I hear the clickety clacking. Let's not
Oh.
keep playing. Tell me again, what is the percentage?
10%.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Why?
This
first
is
of all,
blatant ignorance. It's 60%. 60% on China. 60% on China. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you now. It's
Okay.
60% on China. I was
So,
asking you.
if you're
Hold on.
taxed-
I was asking you. You didn't respond. Now I'm telling you. It's 60%. That's going to lead to a $3 trillion tax hike on the middle class. $3 trillion
so?
added to our national debt. You're talking about, oh, he's going to eliminate the income tax. Let's say he does. Fan-fucking-tastic. That is pennies in comparison to the $3 trillion tax hike through the debt and the additional $2,500 to $3,900 coming out of the pockets of middle-class Americans every year. So actually, you're not looking to give middle-class Americans more money. You're looking to take more money away. Why do you want to rip off the middle class? Is it like a
Okay.
kink? Is it a kink?
Okay. So, let's say you're paying.
Let's say you answer that question.
You're
Wouldn't that be
not-
great? Get back into it. So why are you
can't
looking
listen
to
to people, so I'm
fraud
not gonna
and
have a
scam
conversation
and
with
take
you.
money away
You
from the
people
middle
are
class?
Out of your minds.
You know what's out of your
You're
mind?
nuts.
Do you know what's out of your mind? When you vote for a sexual abuser, civil fraudster, and felon, and then you can't own up to doing so. You know what's out of your mind? When you run around saying you want to defraud and scam the middle class? And then justify that by saying you're going to vote for Donald Trump and that you're excited to strip that money out of their pockets, but you're going to continue gaslighting them into thinking that you support them. You know what's out of your mind? You're out of your mind, MAGA Republicans. You're out of your mind if you say that we should vote for Donald Trump, who wants to strip away the right to choose in its entirety, who has not a single policy to economically benefit a mother after she gives birth. You're out of your mind if you think women are going to vote for him. And they're not, which is why he's struggling in the polls among suburban women, black women, and women across the board. You're out of your mind if you think that LGBTQ plus Americans are going to vote for Donald Trump after Donald Trump stripped transgender Americans out of the military and told LGBTQ plus Americans that, hey, you know what? You can love, but just not in America. You think I'm out of your mind? No, buddy. You're out of your mind if you think that black Americans are going to vote for Donald Trump when Donald Trump says that they can vote, but that their vote may not count as much as that of a white American. That makes you out of your mind. So thank you. Now I'm going to get my cowbell, and we're going to get some cow emojis in the chat. We got a runner, everybody. We got a runner. We got a runner. Heard the cattle. She ran away. What a shock. She ran away. The moment the going gets tough, the tough runs away. So crazy. It turns out they're not that tough after all. Folks, if you're voting for Donald Trump, join the guest request. Let's have a conversation about it. If you're voting for Kamala Harris, hit that like button. Hit the share button. Help us get to 100,000 likes. Hello, guest. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
Absolutely.
And why? How old are you?
I am 25.
I don't believe it. Let's get up our next guest. Hello, guest. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
18.
Nah, I'm not believing it. These are some fetuses here. Can we get some adults up here? If you're voting for Donald Trump, join the guest request and let's have a conversation about it. Or at least wait until your voice drops. Megan, how are you voting for Donald Trump?
Yep,
And why?
because I want to.
Wow, that's not ignorant at all. You must be so fun at parties. You're just so, wow, you're such a great conversationalist. I mean, I could just go on for hours. Wow, so energetic. So exciting. So fun. What a pick me. So why are you voting for a criminal sexual abuser and civil fraudster?
Why are you?
I'm not voting for Donald Trump. I just said I was voting for Kamala Harris. Is this a processing issue? What happened here? You dropped on your head? So tell me again, why are you voting for the criminal? Oh, damn, that's a laugh. Helena, I want to say a massive thank you for the $25 on Venmo. Helena, thank you so much for the love. Helena wants me to tell you that she doesn't like your laugh. I didn't say that. Helena said that, but anyhow, Helena, thank you so much for the love. So can you tell me again why are you voting for the criminal? All right, or keep snorting away. That's fine. Whenever you're done with your line, can you let me know? You know, and then we could jump in and have a conversation.
I'll wait.
Yeah, I've been waiting like 10 minutes. Oh, and she ran. Let's get some cow emojis in the chat. We got a runner. No! No! We got a runner. Let's herd the cattle, everybody. Let's herd the cattle. We got a runner. We got a runner. Let's get up our next guest. If you're voting for Donald Trump, jump on into them there guest requests. Let's have a conversation about that. If you're voting for... Oh, you got quite the echo right there, Monopoly. Hi there. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
I sure the fuck am.
Oh, dang, Uncle Daddy. So why are you voting for a convicted felon, sexual abuser, and civil fraudster, dadgummit?
Because I don't want to vote for no two-faced bitch.
Well, I didn't say you had to vote for Jill Stein. You could vote for Kamala Harris, prosecutor, district attorney. She led the largest Department of Justice, second only to that gum there, United States Department of Justice. Oversaw the largest law enforcement in the entire country, dadgummit. So let's stop bringing up Jill Stein now. Why are you voting for a convicted felon, sexual abuser, and civil fraudster, dadgummit? That's some heck of a knee slapper. Hold on, let me get that for you. Yeah! So why are you voting for a criminal sexual abuser whenever you're ready, Uncle Daddy?
Well, I reckon you're about fucking damn near finished, and so I'm gonna go ahead and vote for Donald Trump because I don't want to vote for some two-faced bitch that didn't accomplish.
For the final time, you can't keep talking about Jill Stein like that. I guess she ain't the brightest tomato in the tomato patch, but you gotta recognize Jill Stein. You know what? She ain't ever gonna be president. The candidates here, we got Kamala Harris, a district attorney, attorney general, senator, vice president, and the best yet, she ain't a sexual abuser. But this one right here, and he's graping women like I don't think anybody's graped women as quickly as Donald Trump. So why are you voting for the rapist?
Yippee-ki-yay, Johnny, because I want to know what the fuck
you gotta work on that accent. That is not a good accent. Amanda, thank you so much for the $2. I appreciate the love. Thank you, Amanda. Dude, you gotta work on that accent, man. You had it going. It was pretty good at first. You lost it. You lost it. So why are you voting for the criminal?
Because he's going to make America great again.
Dude, come on, give me a real reason here, right? This is like me asking you, like, what kind of food do you like to eat? And you being like, I like the edible kind. Like, no, I need a list of ingredients, right? I need a recipe. You got to break it down. Like, you know,
oh, yeah.
We're speaking coherent now. You don't got to keep acting like you're dumb just because the accents are done, all right? Oh, no, you're just dumb, ain't you? Oh, dang, he's just dumb. All right. on the count of three, everybody, let's get some hocus pocus in here. 3, 2, 1. Hocus pocus, poof, and he's gone. The magic is real in America. The magic is real in America. Let's get up our next guest. Oh, gosh. Folks, if you like what you're hearing today and you want to support me, my Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, or my bio, I use that support as I travel across the swing state of Pennsylvania, meeting voters, so that we can continue turning out the vote for Kamala Harris over these next 2 days. Hello, guest. Are you voting for the convicted felon and rapist?
Yes.
How old are you? Oh, ran away. That was a fetus. Oh, my gosh. Where are the adults? All right, let me have a conversation with the MAGA Republicans in chat. MAGA Republicans, I understand that you want to be keyboard warriors in my comment section because you're scared to talk to me using your big boy and big girl voices. It's easier for you to hide behind the screen, isn't it? What I need you to do, though, is stop being a fucking snowflake. Get into my guest requests and have a conversation with me. Going forward, my moderators will be removing every single MAGA Republican who comments something in favor of MAGA but is not in my guest requests. You can comment what you want, so long as you're in my guest request. If you are voting for Donald Trump, get into my guest request or get out of my live stream. I don't need keyboard warriors. I need conversations. Hopefully we have an understanding now, and moderators, please, feel free. If they are commenting nonsense but they're not in my guest request, boot them out. Thank you, King T. I appreciate you coming up. Let's get up our next guest. Hopefully, that was crystal clear. Hello, guest.
Hi.
Do you know what's not crystal clear? Donald Trump's record. Let's understand this. Are you voting for a sexual abuser, civil fraudster, and convicted felon, Donald Trump? Is that who you're voting for?
Yeah.
That's disgusting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So why are you voting for a sexual abuser?
Because I feel like he's America's last chance.
At what? Obliterating itself? Man, listen, if you want to obliterate America that bad, maybe you're in the wrong country. May I recommend that you move to North Korea?
It's not that
You probably have more
serious.
fun
You're
over there. You MAGA
exaggerating
Republicans seem interested in dictatorship, so you might as well just fly over there. Fly north.
How is it not a dictatorship under Democrats?
Excuse me. Why are you voting for the sexual abuser? Can you just coherently, deliver a remark that has anything to do with the conversation? Maybe something of relevance. Go ahead.
His policies are better.
Which one?
I would say how he's going to approach the global policies, global markets, global countries.
What?
Explain how Kamala's better.
What did you even just say? I don't even know how to... The fuck did that even mean? What did that actually mean? Like, low key, help me here. What did that even mean? What did that actually mean? Like, what the fuck were you just talking about?
Explain it to me.
I can't explain it to you. I think you're sundowning.
What does that mean?
Usually, the doctor doesn't tell you when you're sundowning. They tell your family, which is why you don't know what it means. I would recommend a little Google search while you're googling what sundowning means. While you're googling what sundowning means. Excuse me, maybe I stuttered, but I don't think I did. While you're googling what sundowning means, take a moment and Google Kamala Harris and Donald Trump's policy. I'll tell you why I'm voting for Kamala, because you can't tell me why you're voting for Donald Trump. I'm voting for Kamala Harris off of numerous reasons. Growing up, my mom, my pa, they taught me real young. And you're going to run away halfway through this. I already know. That's fine. I get it. You're not here to listen, so this is for the chat now. That's fine. I have voted for Republicans. I have voted for Democrats. Donald Trump is not a Republican. He's a blatant walking rhino. If this was Joe Biden and Nikki Haley, we could have a different conversation. But this is Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. On this side of the aisle, you have a sexual abuser, civil fraudster, and felon. And you can't gaslight us into thinking that he was politically persecuted. At the same time, you show your own blatant hypocrisy by saying that Hunter Biden wasn't politically persecuted. I believe in law and order. I believe in the criminal justice system. I believe in holding people accountable for their crimes, no matter what office they have held or what office they're running for. Donald Trump. $488 million in fraud. Donald Trump raped a woman. Donald Trump, 34 felony counts, falsifying business records, checks, and statements.
Why are you muting?
Because I'm trying to get you to shut up. Take the hint. So now let's recognize Donald Trump committed those crimes, and yet you want to vote for a criminal instead of the prosecutor who would typically prosecute somebody like Donald Trump. Kamala Harris, who was a district attorney, an attorney general, leading the largest Department of Justice, second only to the U.S. Department of Justice in the country. Kamala Harris, who not only led the largest law enforcement department in the country, but had it in a state that had the fifth largest economy in the world. Talk about a massive budget for your law enforcement department. Obviously, California was doing something right. But you don't want us to look at that? You don't want us to look at the record? That's insane. Kamala Harris, who was senator and vice president, delivered policies like the Inflation Reduction Act, the CHIPS and Science Act, the Infrastructure Package, the American Rescue Plan, that created tens of thousands of good-paying jobs, double the amount of jobs that Donald Trump created. She had a monthly average of 400,000 jobs created. Donald Trump's was less than half of that. And that is not including pandemic jobs gained or lost. Let's also recognize Kamala Harris never forgot about her middle-class roots, right? Because in America, Kamala Harris was never supposed to become a district attorney, let alone the vice president, because every single card was socioeconomically stacked against her. And yet, as a middle-class black woman, she did become a district attorney. She then became an attorney general. She became a senator and then became a vice president, and now she's going to become your president. Because guess what? Americans want people who represent America, and Kamala Harris has policies that represent America, like the $25,000 down payment for first-time home buyers, $50,000 for small business entrepreneurs, the additional $6,000 child tax credit, that permanent child tax credit. And while we're on the topic of children, let's talk about the right to choose. Kamala Harris says that she's going to protect the right to choose, but if you choose to have a baby, she will financially support you. Donald Trump, he says no right to choose in its entirety. And he could run around saying he believes in the 3 exceptions now, but because he overturned Roe v. Wade, women like Kate Cox lost the right to choose. She had a non-viable pregnancy, and yet was forced to flee her state to seek an abortion. Was never going to be a baby. She wanted a baby. What she got was a risk to her life. And you MAGA Republicans were going to take her life to spite your own face. Then, what do you see? You see Amber Thurman. And while Amber Thurman, let's get Amber Thurman up here. Oh wait, we can't. She's dead because of Donald Trump's abortion ban. So Donald Trump says you're not going to give women the right to choose, and in fact, you're also not going to provide them with a single policy that economically benefits them after you force them to give birth. That is not pro-life. That is not pro-choice. That is pro-forced birth, and we do not live in the Handmaid's Tale. So let's stop treating our country like this is the Handmaid's Tale, right? This isn't Gilead. Now let's move on and recognize again that you have Donald Trump, who is far too familiar with stripping away the rights and freedoms of Americans. It's not just the right to choose. Donald Trump, Second Amendment. You look at Donald Trump and he implemented by executive order a bump stock ban that was in direct violation of the Constitution, overturned in June of this year by his own Supreme Court. That's Amy Coney Barrett saying, Donald Trump, you just violated the Constitution. I'm going to overturn your bump stock ban. And where do we go from there? Donald Trump is now not only a sexual abuser, not only a predator, not only a rapist, not only a felon, not only a convicted felon, right? Not only a civil fraudster, not only by definition an insurrectionist, he is also twice impeached and a constitutional violator. Congrats! More for the resume, Donald Trump. And not only that, this isn't his first time violating the Constitution. He asked Mike Pence to violate the Constitution by overthrowing the will of the people and putting him back into office. That is not freedom. That is not America. That is anti-American, and you're voting for that. You know, the first tip should have been when his own vice president said he wouldn't run with Donald Trump, let alone endorse him, right? Like Mike Pence, where are you, right? He's on Team Kamala. That should have been enough for you. That should have been enough for you. But instead, you still said, you know what, we're going to move the goalpost a little bit further for Donald Trump. We're going to do that. We're going to move that goalpost a little bit further every single time that Donald Trump F's up. Donald Trump says, Jewish Americans ought to get their head checked if they want to vote for a Democrat. You guys say, move that goalpost. Donald Trump says Puerto Rico's trash. You guys said, we're just going to move that goalpost. Donald Trump said, you know what, I'm not going to negotiate a deal with Vladimir Putin to bring home U.S. Marine Paul Whelan. I think our veterans are suckers and losers. You MAGA Republicans say, goalpost, move it. Donald Trump buries his wife on a golf course. Move that goalpost. Donald Trump puts his name on the Bible. Move that goalpost. Donald Trump gives you the American flag, signs it, violates Title 4, Chapter 1 of Flag Code. You guys say, move that flag. Let's just move that flag in that goalpost. Let's put the flag on the goalpost, and you know what? Let's move it. That's your party. Yeah? That's your party. So why are you voting for that? Why are you voting for the sexual abuser, felon, fraudster? Go ahead.
I feel like you accomplished something by saying all that word salad.
What I did... Here's the difference between you and I. What I just did was I answered your question. You said, why am I voting for Kamala? And I told you why. What you just did was prove that you have a processing issue because you're too ignorant. You said that I just spoke word salad. I spoke very clearly. The chat understood what I said. You didn't. So that speaks volumes to your own ignorance. Congratulations. So I'm going to ask you again, why are you voting for Donald Trump? You can respond or get out of my live. It's not that hard, right? I didn't ask you for a statistic yet. I didn't ask you for a percentage yet. If you can't tell me why you're voting for Donald Trump, how can I trust you're going to be able to talk policy or statistics when I get to that in a minute from now? Yeah? So you can leave the live or answer the question. It's not that hard. Why are you voting for a felon? I'm going to do something to make all the MAGA Republicans a little triggered. This is a lip balm.
The president right now, the Democrats are in power. Kamala's the vice president.
Nope. You have a Speaker of the House and he's a Republican.
Why hasn't
and the country's
she done
not in a
any
mess.
of her policies?
Excuse me. I just asked you a question. I said, why are you voting for Trump? You just went off into a tizzy of nonsense. You said the Democrats are in charge. Your Speaker of the House is a Republican who actually endorsed Kamala Harris's border bill, mind you. So before you get to your Republican leadership, who is also on Team Kamala, tell me, why are you voting for Donald Trump?
Why are you for Kamala's border policy?
Whew. All right, we're going to move on. This one's too ignorant. Let's move on. There's no help in that one, right? That was dumb. Listen, I know that not everybody was created, not everybody was created with that same kind of intelligence, but Jesus Christ. Oh, that one just ran away. Let's get up our next guest. If you are voting for Donald Trump, join the guest request and let's have a conversation about it. I want to talk to you. Come on up if you're voting for Trump. Come on up. Don't keep hiding in my comment section. Get on up here. Folks, if you like what you're hearing today and you want to support me, my Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, that's in my bio. I want to say a massive thank you to Pauline and Monique. Thank you so much for the $40. I'm sorry, can we please see 1,000 W's from Monique in the chat? That is so nice. Monique, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. All right, trying to get up our next guest. Again, if you're voting for Donald Trump, join the guest request. I want to talk to you. I want to talk about why you're voting for Donald Trump. Come on up. Let's go. You voting for Trump?
Absolutely.
How old are you?
No, I'm 29. I voted for Kamala.
Hey, W's in the chat. Your name's Dexter?
Nah, that's just my street name, but voted for the first time ever, Kamala in Texas. I love you. Have a good one.
Hey, in Texas too? Hey, thank you for voting, man. Thank you for coming up. Let's get some W's to Texas in the chat, please. To our folks from Texas, I want you to know something, okay? You, Texas, I'm talking to you right now. Texas, you folks have the analysts and the strategists in such a tizzy, they have no idea how to define the selection or the polls. I wasn't talking to you yet. Or the polls, because you folks in Texas are split ticket voting and voting at such a high rate. Good job. Y'all are doing phenomenal. Keep at it, Texas. That's phenomenal. Penny, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. I'm going to read that message in just a moment, Penny. Thank you so much for the love. All right, guys, are you voting for Donald Trump?
So I grew up in the middle class family.
Are you voting for Donald Trump?
So I grew up in the middle class.
Are you voting for Donald Trump?
I grew up in the middle class.
I'll ask 3 times. Let's move on. Third strike, you're out. Hello, guest. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
No, I'm from Florida, and
I appreciate it, folks. We are just looking to talk to Donald Trump supporters right now. We will be talking to Kamala Harris supporters later, but just right now, we're looking to talk to Trump supporters, folks. Hello, Vanessa. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
We already voted for Kamala.
Hey, W's in the chat for Vanessa. Thank you for coming up, Vanessa. I appreciate you voting for Kamala. Let's get up our next guest. Hello, guest. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, yeah, I'm voting for Donald Trump. I would just like to chat. My phone's gonna die.
Dude, do you want to sit down and catch your breath? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm trying to run to a phone charger.
Are you running away from Donald Trump or something? Is he chasing you?
No,
Turn on the
never.
video and blink twice if you need help.
No, we're all good.
I get it. It wouldn't be the first time that Donald Trump pursued somebody against their will, right? We know that. Hashtag rapist.
This is true. There we go, man. How you doing?
So you say this is true. Why are you voting for the grapist if you know he's a grapist?
It was only found civilly liable.
Oh my God. Do you have kids?
Yeah, I do.
All right. What do you got? Like a boy or girl? What do you got?
Yeah, I got a toddler. He's a boy.
Okay. All right. So let's recognize if somebody was found liable of sexual abuse, would you let them babysit your kid?
Of course, but I won't anybody. I won't let
Whoa,
anybody. Of course not.
All right, Dad of the Year award, right? No.
No, I said of
Why
course
would
not.
you? Oh, you said of course not. Oh,
Yeah,
all
of course
right.
not.
I thought you said of course. I'm like that kid ought to be taken away. I thought you said yeah. I'm like, oh no. All right, got me nervous there, man. All right, so let's get this right. You wouldn't let somebody who was found legally liable of sexual abuse babysit your kid, and yet you're gonna let somebody who was found liable of sexual abuse be your kid's president?
Civilly liable.
That don't seem right.
I mean, how do you feel voting for a homewrecker?
I'm not voting for Melania Trump. And listen, what happened between Marla Maples and Melania Trump? I don't care. I'm focused on ensuring, that we are putting America first. And that's what we get with Kamala Harris. That's why I'm voting for Kamala Harris. Again, I'm not voting for Melania Trump. You folks confuse this up. It's just Melania and Marla. Listen, man, whatever home wrecking they got going on, I don't got any part in it. Just let them live, So tell me again, why are you voting for the convicted felon, sexual abuser, and civil fraudster?
Because Kamala Harris wants to take Second
Amendment. Hold on. Let me get this better right. You just said the Second Amendment. Is that what you just spoke on?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Tell me one instance over these past 4 years where Kamala violated the Second Amendment. Go ahead.
No, she didn't violate Second Amendment.
She didn't? Whoa! Oh, man. Whoa! You're saying she didn't violate it? Oh, man, it's almost like I knew that. Do you know who did violate the Second Amendment during his presidency? His name is Donald Trump. Donald Trump implemented a bump stock ban, which is in direct violation of the Second Amendment. And that's not my opinion. That's not me saying that. You don't get to say no, it's not. The Supreme Court in June of this year, Amy Coney Barrett said it was in direct violation of the Second Amendment according to the Constitution, and they overturned it. Do you know more than the Supreme Court? I
mean,
that wasn't a rhetorical. Do you know more than the Supreme Court? Yes or no?
Like in what way?
The Supreme Court's sole purpose is to define and interpret the Constitution. They said Donald Trump's ban on bump stocks was in direct violation of the Second Amendment, making him the first modern-day president to violate the Constitution. More ironically, the Second Amendment, you just said it wasn't unconstitutional. The Supreme Court said it was. So are they right, or are we supposed to trust little old you?
I don't know.
Right. So we do know. We're going to trust the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Because that's their job.
Then why does Kamala
Are you on the Supreme Court? I'm sorry. Do you play tennis with Clarence Thomas at that billionaire's house? Is that you? Do you know Clarence Thomas? No? Okay. So I'm not going to trust you when you say it's not unconstitutional. I'm going to trust the Supreme Court when they say that Donald Trump's bump stock ban was unconstitutional. So quit playing. Will you now concede? Excuse me, before you pivot, will you now concede and recognize that Donald Trump is the Second Amendment violator, not Kamala Harris? Do you recognize that?
I don't recognize. I mean, I do.
You need to recognize that.
Yeah, I do recognize.
There you go. Now let's get back into my question here, because I just responded to yours. Tell me one economic policy that Donald Trump passed that benefited middle-class Americans. Go ahead.
Project Warp Speed.
Nope.
How did not
Tell me one economic policy that Donald Trump passed that benefited the middle class. Pardon me. I want to say a massive thank you to Penny. Penny. Oh, no, Penny. Huh?
Thank you, Penny.
Excuse me. Penny, to our moderators, can you please go into the settings right now and unblock Penny? It sounds like somebody accidentally blocked a friendly. Please unblock Penny. And thank you, Penny, for the love. Terry, I want to say a massive thank you for the $50. Terry, if we could please get like 1,000 W Terrys in the chat. Terry, guest. Terry wanted me to tell you that she thinks you're ignorant, so she gave me $50 so that I could continue traveling around the swing state of Pennsylvania meeting voters to win this election. So W's Terry, and also G, thank you so much for being so ignorant. It's because of you Kamala Harris is going to win this election, so thank you. All right, tell me the economic policy that Donald Trump passed through Congress to benefit middle-class Americans. Go ahead.
I don't really like to argue past economic policies.
Oh, you don't want to talk about Donald Trump's term? Oh, you don't want to talk about Donald Trump's first term in the presidency because you don't know what policy he passed? That's too bad. Too bad. Tell me an economic policy he passed through Congress to economically benefit middle-class Americans. This might seem like a rhetorical... No.
No. Tax cuts.
Oh. Tell me about them.
Everybody got a tax cut.
Break it down. I need percentages. I need statistics.
Everybody from the poor to the rich.
Oh, well, first off, that ain't true. Secondly, do you want to tell me about the percentages? Go ahead.
Oh, I don't know the percentages exactly.
Why are you bringing something up if you don't know the percentages?
Because
now that was a rhetorical. That was a rhetorical. So let me tell you the percentages. What percentage did Donald Trump give to the middle class?
Oh, I don't know. What's middle class?
For example, if you were in the 25% tax bracket, what'd you get?
Like, what's that making?
That's the middle class.
What's
That's the average. Pardon me. I'm asking you a question. You're not responding.
But what's it making?
You're not answering the question.
Like, what's the dollar factor?
The issue here is you think that by me providing you a dollar factor that's going to help you answer. You don't know how to answer because you brought up a tax policy without knowing any of the percentages, and that's what I'm proving. But you're trying to pivot away from answering the question because you don't know. Listen, it is not sundown o'clock. Okay, I don't even think it's 7 o'clock yet. So tell me again, what is the tax percent cut that Donald Trump gave to the middle class? Go ahead.
20%.
Wouldn't that have been nice? No.
I don't know. But
wow, if you thought it was 20%, you just wait. If you thought it was 20%, you just wait. Hold on. If you thought it was 20%, you just wait. It was like 20%, but it didn't have a zero.
See, it was like 20%.
It was like 20%.
Yes,
it was like it, but it didn't have a zero on the end. It was just 2%. He gave 1 to 2% to the middle class. If you were in the 25% tax bracket, the average tax bracket, he pushed you into a 24% tax bracket. 1 to 2%. Ain't that crazy? You said 20%? Almost like 20%, but there was no zero on the end. It was 2%. All right. Now you tell me, what was the tax cut that Donald Trump gave to corporations? Go ahead.
Sorry,
go ahead.
I had to unmute.
Go ahead. What was it?
Go
ahead. Come on. Guess.
I don't know.
Guess. Dance for me. Come on, guess. Let's go.
I'm dancing, baby. I'm dancing.
All right, go ahead. What was it?
I don't know.
It was 14%. 14%. So 14% is a tax cut to corporations who are already making record high profits, like Microsoft. 1 to 2% to the middle class. So first off, respectfully, when you go to speak over me, you can respectfully bite it because I'm speaking. So it was 1 to 2% to the middle class. It was 14% to corporations, and the 14% was a permanent tax cut, while the 1 to 2% tax cut was temporary. Can you justify why Donald Trump would give a double-digit permanent tax cut to Microsoft, who already made record high profits prior to the corporate tax deduction, and why he would give a 1 to 2% temporary tax cut to the middle class? And I get it. You're saying that your taxes are higher now or something. But let's recognize that you are under Donald Trump's tax policy today. So before you go into, well, you know what, my taxes are up now, let's recognize you're still under his tax policy. I understand you don't know that, so I'm telling you. So tell me again, what is the discrepancy between the policy? Why did he give a temporary low-digit tax cut to middle-class Americans and a double-digit tax cut that led to an $8 trillion deficit that middle-class Americans are paying off to corporations? Go ahead.
I believe because it wouldn't approve the permanent. It was only temporary because of Congress.
Nope. So again, the corporate tax cut was permanent. The middle class tax cut was temporary. So the corporate tax cut was approved for Congress, right? Approved through Congress, right? Donald Trump put that forth. Excuse me. The permanent tax cut was approved, presented by Donald Trump, approved through Congress, permanent for corporations. Why was it not permanent for the middle class? You tell me.
Because it's unconstitutional?
No.
Because income tax is unconstitutional.
Excuse me. Wrong. And if you're saying that income tax is unconstitutional, just wait until you find out about the decades and decades and decades of income tax being implemented. I mean, what are you talking about? You want to talk about unconstitutional? Look no further than your own candidate. He's unconstitutional. Violated the Second Amendment with the bump stock ban, but you said that wasn't unconstitutional. You seem to have an issue here with what is and isn't constitutional. You said that Donald Trump violating the Second Amendment, having been ruled by his own Supreme Court as having violated the Second Amendment, right? His bump stock ban and violated the Second Amendment. That was unconstitutional according to the Supreme Court. But you said it wasn't unconstitutional. Now you're saying that income tax is unconstitutional? You don't know what is and isn't constitutional. But that's I mean, clearly, right? You MAGA Republicans never do. You never do, right? You thought that Donald Trump had a constitutional obligation to have his vice president overthrow the will of the people. But Mike Pence knew better than you MAGA Republicans, so he said we are going to certify this election and put Kamala Harris and Joe Biden into the presidency. So don't tell me what is and isn't constitutional. I don't trust you. You just from the 15 minutes in this live stream have said that an income tax is unconstitutional and that a violation of the Second Amendment, that being a bump stock ban, according to the Supreme Court, that they're wrong and it is constitutional. Don't play with me. So tell me again. Excuse me. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. I said don't play with me. So tell me again, why are you voting for the criminal? I bring up this economic package. You say the Tax and Jobs Act. Can you tell me, why would you pass this policy knowing it would lead to an $8 trillion debt? This led to an $8 trillion debt, and middle-class Americans are paying for that. Why do you want debt? Go ahead.
Because we could fix it because the U.S. Supreme Court
we can fix it? Oh, wait, we can fix it? Oh, gosh, fuck, you think this is handy-manny? Huh?
Can I finish?
I can fix it, Felix. Dude, the $8 trillion debt? Why fix something? What do you mean fix it? Why'd he give us an $8 trillion debt? Fuck you mean fix it? Fix it? Fix it. Hold on. Fix it. You say, well, we're giving you an $8 trillion debt because we're going to fix it. Fix it? Huh? Wreck-It Ralph, sit down. Hold on.
The U.S. Supreme Court ruled.
Excuse you.
The federal income tax.
Excuse you. Maybe I stuttered. I wasn't done. Let's better understand this, Wreck-It Ralph. I want to better understand this. You're going to come into my live and tell me that you're going to give us an $8 trillion debt and that you should do that because we can fix it? No. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? We can fix it. We can fix it. Okay, let's get back into this, man.
I was just wondering why the US Supreme
pardon me.
Court ruled
Crime
the federal
word.
income.
Teaching time with Johnny. Gee, I'm going to put you on mute, and here's what I'm going to need you to do. I understand that you have a listening issue, clearly, but when somebody puts you on mute, that's a hint that it's time for you to shut up. Okay? So let's understand this, Wreck-It Ralph. See, you just did it again. Bad boy. If you do it again, you're going to get kicked, and I'm sure you would love to be kicked. I'm sure you're going to unmute because you want me to kick you, because you're scared to conversate. There you go. Good boy. Good boy, G. Let me better understand this. Donald Trump gave a 14% corporate tax deduction to Microsoft, Amazon, Walmart. My name is not Rite Aid. Your name is not Nintendo. We didn't benefit from this. We didn't. Donald Trump gave us a 1 to 2% tax cut. And the 14% corporate tax cut led to an $8 trillion debt. $8 trillion debt. That is double the amount of debt that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden added, but their debt was through pandemic response. Donald Trump's debt was through tax cuts for corporations. That's not okay with me. Especially when you recognize that he said, well, the money will trickle down eventually to the middle class, and it never did. And it didn't under Reagan. It gave us George H.W. Bush's recession. It didn't trickle down under George W. Bush either. It gave us a market crash and a global, almost global economic crash and borderline Great Depression. So don't keep telling us trickle-down economics is going to work. It didn't work for me. Didn't work for my mom. Didn't work for my grandma. But you guys can keep telling us that it'll trickle down eventually. Maybe someday when my kids are born. Right? Maybe then. But certainly not today. Certainly not yesterday. And certainly not 40 years ago. So then let's get better back into this, okay? You're telling me that Donald Trump, who not only increased the debt by $8 trillion, that you're going to vote for him when you know damn well that his tariffs caused a $230 billion tax hike. For example, the 15 to 25% tariff he put on agriculture that increased costs on produce by giving them an export crisis as they lost China as a consumer, led to a surplus in supply and demand issue, and middle-class consumers lost out on the economic advantage. So we get a tax hike of $230 billion, right? We, me, you, the chat, while billionaires run away with their corporate tax deduction, and then we pick up the $8 trillion debt. But you want to tell us that that's a strong economy for us. Yeah, that's going to benefit the middle class real well. No, it didn't. You know what's crazy? Y'all also say, MAGA Republicans also say that that's going to create jobs. It didn't. Didn't create jobs. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Do you know who did create jobs? Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. And they ain't need to play with tax cuts for corporations. They ain't need to play with tariffs. Instead, they gave us, on average, 400,000 jobs every month, well over double what Donald Trump was giving us, through policies like the Inflation Reduction Act, the Infrastructure Package, the CHIPS and Science Act, the American Rescue Plan. They brought chip manufacturing back to America. They created good-paying union jobs, permanent jobs, full-time jobs, jobs where you won't have to work 2 or 3 jobs to earn a living, but you could earn a living off of one job working with the Department of Transportation. Those jobs. I'm not talking about Donald Trump's jobs he created for GameStop. I'm talking about jobs with the IBEW, jobs with the steelworkers, Jobs with the Teamsters. Jobs with the SEIU. Those jobs, that's what I'm talking about. So, G, here's my advice to you, okay? Here's my advice to you. I want you to consider that maybe you're voting for a candidate who wants to throw you under the bus economically to benefit corporations and his billionaire buddies. And just because you simp for billionaires does not make you a billionaire. Elon Musk does not care about you even a little bit more just because you are simping for him that much more. Understood? Great. Thank you, G, for coming up. Now, it is going to be my God-sent pleasure to boot you out of this live on the count of 3, everybody. Hocus pocus.
I didn't even
3,
get a response.
2, 1. Poof. Goodbye. I don't need to hear the response from somebody who's simping for billionaires. Are you out of your mind? Because I don't even get to respond. What are you going to do? Respond and say, that's not true. Elon Musk does love me. He loves me very much. No, we don't. Sorry to break it to you, sweetheart. Sorry to break it to you. Elon Musk don't even know how to pronounce his son's name. Hello, guys. Are you voting for Donald Trump? Dang, Melania, calm down. Oh my gosh, she's having a great night. Whew, oh my gosh. Hey, as long as Donald Trump don't know. Let's get up our next guest. I'm going to do something that really annoys MAGA Republicans. I got a lip balm here, and I'm going to use it. So many MAGA Republicans are getting triggered right now. Isn't that crazy? Use a lip balm and MAGA Republicans run away. It's like cologne. Use cologne and MAGA Republicans are like, oh my gosh, and they run away. Hello, guys. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
Yep, sure am.
Gotcha. And why do you hate America? I'm sorry. I mean, why are you voting for Donald Trump?
Are you guys going to let me talk, or are you just going to talk over me like you did?
Do you want to cry more? Listen, if you're going to cry, could you do me a favor and cry into this cup? Because we can save the tears and give it to Pennsylvania for their next drought.
Fine. So you're just
go on.
Again, man.
Can you do me a favor?
You got nothing to say.
I caught a tear. Oh, there's another tear. I caught one.
Right.
Nice. There's another one. Wow, you're just... Wow, look at that. Look at all those tears. Anyway, why are you voting for the criminal? I asked you a question. Respond.
Why? The economy was way better. We had secure borders.
What county? You said the county was better?
The economy was better.
Oh, the economy. All right, it's not my fault you don't talk coherently. All right, so tell me again, how was the economy better? Go ahead.
Can you grab that cup for your tears now?
What?
That cup, that yellow cup you had?
Dude, come up with your own roast, man. Just like Donald Trump stealing Bernie Sanders' policies. Y'all just take from other people. Copy and paste. Copy and paste. Copy and paste. Tell me again, why are you voting for the criminal?
Well, a better economy, secure borders, no new wars. You know, it was a lot better.
What are you talking about? Let's talk about those borders. What is Donald Trump's border plan? Go ahead. If you don't know, you just tell me and I'll tell you.
Well, go ahead and tell us. Go ahead.
Do you want to build the wall?
Yeah.
Why do I know his policy and you don't?
I'm just waiting for you, man. Go ahead.
Why do I know his policy and you don't? And I'm going to finish his policy. I'm going to keep reading it to you.
Go ahead and say it already.
I'm going to continue. I want to know first, why don't you know his policy and I do?
Because you got to have someone pull it up for you. So go ahead and say it.
I'm going to have someone pull it up for me?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to build the wall?
Yeah.
Do you want to fund 2,000 border agents? Donald Trump says he needs 2,000 border agents to monitor the wall when he builds it. You want to pay those salaries?
Hell yeah, man. That's more money in
our pocket. You
want
to pay those salaries. That's not money in your pocket. What are you talking about?
It's money
in
America's pockets.
We'll get back to this. We'll get back to this. Do you want to block illegal... Now, actually, this one I agree with. I get this. I get this because it's illegal. Do you want to block illegal asylum seekers? Again, I'm talking about illegal migrants, not legal. This one I get.
Yeah. Illegal
I get this one.
Seekers and illegal crossers.
I get it. I like it doesn't cost me money. I like it. I get it. I'll give credit where it's due. Do you want to put... All right, this one was dumb as fucking shit. Donald Trump says, let's pretend this is a water bottle because I don't got one, okay?
Okay.
He says that if you have illegal immigration, you're going to put it all into the cup being the country. He wants to cap it at some point so that we don't overflow. Do you want to cap immigration?
You mean cap immigration like per day, per year, or?
You got to talk to him about that. It's like it's a annual cap, I guess, like a daily cap annual.
Illegal
whatever Congress passes it. This is legal and illegal. He's saying that if you have see what I'm talking about? He's saying that if you have illegal immigrants and you make them legal immigrants, nothing changes. That you're going to have an overflow of migrants. So, do you want to cap immigration? Yes or no? He's saying that we need to limit how many migrants come over a day.
Well, yeah, I mean, cap it with legal immigration, though. That way they can make sure that they're vetted and stuff like that. We could.
So you're saying, cap it?
Yeah.
Last one. Do you want to give millions of dollars to border states? I'm talking millions and millions and millions of dollars to border states. Donald Trump calls it states' rights. Donald Trump says it's states' rights, that states should be allowed to secure the border how they see fit in case they feel that the federal government missed a crack or crevice. You want to do that?
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I think we should take less out of the federal government's hands.
Okay.
I don't believe in big federal government controlling everything.
All right, hold on. Dude, do you want to talk about Kamala Harris's policy now?
Yeah.
All right, that was Kamala Harris's policy. And here's what I'm going to do before you start crying. Hold on, before you start crying, before you start yelling, you just endorsed Kamala Harris's policy. That was not Donald Trump's policy. That was not Donald Trump's policy. That was Kamala Harris's policy. I told you it was Donald Trump's, and you were so ignorant that you endorsed it. You endorsed Kamala Harris on the border just now. So let's do a celebration. Let's get some L guests in the chat, please. Woo! We got an ignoramus. Yeah, okay. Woo! Heck yeah, folks, if you like what you're listening to today, and you like watching me point out the hypocrisy of MAGA Republicans, feel free to support me, because I know it would make this guest that much more matter if you did. My Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App are in my bio. I use those funds as I travel around the swing state of Pennsylvania, meeting voters to turn out the vote, and we have about a day left until the election, so feel free to pitch into that fight. Excuse me, I wasn't done talking. And now, guest here, you just endorsed Kamala Harris on the border. What I want the next words to come out of your mouth are to be relevant as to your endorsement of Kamala Harris. Will you now own up to the fact you just endorsed Kamala Harris's border policy? And in fact, you said yourself, yeah, that's common sense. You use the word common sense. You also use the word, yeah, no, that makes sense. Like, yeah, we need to do that. Like, who wouldn't want to do that? No, that makes absolute sense. Let's do that. Will you now endorse Kamala Harris on the border? Yes or no? Go ahead. Unmute. Come on. Let's reel it in. Let's go. I ain't got all night. Come on, Diddy, unmute. Let's go. We got to get this done.
All right, so
let's go. You endorse Kamala?
I didn't endorse Kamala. Just because I agree with some of her policies doesn't mean I endorse.
It's not some of her policies. You just endorsed all of her border policies. It wasn't some of her policy. It was you endorsed all of her border policy. All of it. All of it. You saw that border policy and you were drooling. You were drooling. I want to say a massive thank you to Philip Austin. Thank you, Philip Austin. Philip just sent $10 to support me as I continue turning out the vote. Philip said, thank you for making this guy look stupid. Philip, I'm more than happy to. Matt Hobbs, thank you for the $3. Thank you so much. Excuse me, I'm speaking, so you're not. I also want to say a massive thank you to Pauline and Sandra for the love and support. Yeah, guys, I'm more than happy to make this guy look ignorant. You have an echo. You need to scroll out of the app and come back in. You have an echo. And while, yes, I love hearing my own voice, I don't need to hear it through your Nokia 1999. You have an echo. You have an echo. Voice, I don't need to hear it. All right, we got to move on. He has an echo and he ain't willing to fix it. Let's get up our next guest and let's get some L guests in the chat. That was some blatant ignorance. I mean, he straight up just endorsed Kamala Harris on the border because he didn't know Kamala or Donald Trump's border policy, but he said he was voting for Donald Trump based off of the border. Ain't that wild? Robert, thank you so much for the $20. That is beyond kind. I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Robert. Dude, that was nice. Thank you so much. Hello, guest. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
Mala is so ugly.
All right, hold on. Fetus deletus, poof, and they're gone. Sometimes I don't even need the wand. That spell is just that powerful. Really gets them out of here, don't it? Oh my gosh. If only fetus deletus were that easy. Nicole, thank you so much for the $5. I appreciate the love. Thank you so much, folks. Paul, how you doing? All right, and goodbye, Paul. Let's get up the next guest. Hello, guest. You voting for Donald Trump? And goodbye. Next up. Okay. Hello, guest. You voting for Donald Trump?
Hello. Yes. Yes.
How old are you?
How old am I?
Yep.
35.
Ew.
How old are you?
Depends. 52 if it's a day ending in Y.
How old are you?
52.
How old are you really?
52. Just ask your mom. She knows me. Jenny, thank you so much for the $60. Voted blue in Texas. Can we please get some W Texas? Jenny, thank you so much for the $60. That is beyond kind. Thank you so much. Anyway, I just said I'm 52. If you don't believe me, ask your mom. She knows me well. So anyway, why are you voting for the criminal?
Okay, buddy. Are you gonna let somebody else speak?
Why are you voting for the criminal? I'm trying to let you speak, but you won't respond. Why are you voting for the criminal?
So I ask you, like, how old?
Why are you voting for the criminal?
How old are you?
I can say 52 1,000 times for you, and yet you still don't believe it. And while I feel good and I appreciate the compliment, I don't know what to tell you.
Like 22 years old, right?
All right, 22.
Just
I'll take
college,
it. I would rather be 22. I'd be more than happy to be 22.
Out of life,
listen,
life
I'm trying to better
guy.
understand this.
You don't.
You're not. You want to talk about life experience. You're coming up here and spewing your nonsense rhetoric. Again, I asked you why you're voting for the felon, but apparently you're too old to process the question, so I'll ask again. Why are you voting for the convicted felon? If you could respond, that would be great. If you need to turn up whatever hearing aid is malfunctioning, then do so. But I need an answer to the question nonetheless. Can you respond? Joseph, thank you so much for the $20. I appreciate the love. Thank you so much, Joseph. Again, guess, I know you don't know how to work your cell phone. I get that. I need you to unmute yourself. There you go. Good boy. You did it. So why are you voting for the criminal?
For the felon, dude, because life is 100%
you called him a felon.
under Donald Trump's policies. And if you know anything about the world, my friend, that you will know that she is not going to change one thing. She just works for the establishment.
You're not telling me what policies he's going to pass here. Can you tell me one economic policy that Donald Trump has ever passed that economically benefited middle-class Americans? Go ahead.
Hey, buddy, I'm not going to say
Buddy, what I need you to do is just tell me the policy. Buddy, I just need you to tell me the policy. If you can't tell me the policy, then just say so. I don't need to hear your life story, your Disney Channel upbringing. I don't care about your life. Oh. Sorry, did you think I did? I don't. So tell me again about that policy. What's one economic policy that Donald Trump passed that benefited middle-class Americans? That's what I care about. Answer that question. Go ahead.
I guess it would have been tax cuts up across the whole board.
Tax cuts?
Yeah.
And the tax cuts are what exactly? What was the tax cut for the middle class?
Buddy, I don't know the specifics.
Oh, you don't know the specifics, but you brought up the tax policy. You bring up the tax policy and you don't know the percentage of a tax cut you gave to middle-class Americans? Let me better understand this. I ask you for a policy that benefited middle-class Americans economically, and you say the Tax Act. Okay, cool, cool. First off, that's not the name of it, but that's fine. That's fine. I'll give you some leverage. You say the tax cuts. First off, that's not the name of the act, but I'll give it to you. That's your free space. Then I say, what's the percentage? And now you're clueless. Damn. That was fast. You really walked up here and went from confident to clueless real quick, didn't you? All right. But I ain't giving you another free space, so you're going to respond. What was the tax cut percentage for the middle class? Go ahead. Unmute and respond. I ain't got all night. Let's go. The clock is ticking and your candidate's losing, so you might want to hurry up and respond. Come on. There you go. Good boy. What's the percentage? Percentage is what?
Percentage? I have no idea what percentage you're talking about.
Wow, what a shocker. Oh, gosh. You don't know the percentage? I'm so shocked.
I'm sure you do, dude, because you sit here and study it, dude.
I ain't shocked.
Real people go to work, dude. They don't live on TikTok, dude.
Excuse me.
You know? Excuse me. You, dude.
I have a full-time job as George Soros' mistress. Thank you very much. So 1 to 2% is the tax cut. 1 to 2% is the tax cut for the middle class.
Okay, that's good.
14% was the tax cut for corporations. The corporate tax cut was permanent. The middle class tax cut was temporary, yet we recognize that Donald Trump claimed middle class Americans were struggling, and we know that corporations were already making record high profits before the 14% corporate tax deduction. We also know that the corporate tax deduction led to an $8 trillion debt. I'm not done. Led to an $8 trillion debt. Led to an $8 trillion debt, and middle class Americans are paying that off. So I want you to justify something for me here. Why did Donald Trump give a temporary, single, low-digit tax cut to the middle class when he said the middle class was struggling? And why did he give a 14% tax deduction to corporations, that being a permanent tax cut, when they were already making record high profits? And when this led to an $8 trillion debt that the middle class was paying off? So he gave pennies to the middle class and then threw an $8 trillion debt at them, but gave corporations who already had record high profits a 14% tax cut. Do you want to justify that? Can you break down the logic behind that? Because so far, not a single economist has been able to justify the logic, but you seem like a smart... you seem like you seem like a guy. Can you explain to me the justification behind it? Go ahead.
Listen, I didn't even hear one thing you just said.
Oh,
though,
shocker. Okay, so I'll repeat it. Donald Trump gave a 14% corporate permanent tax deduction to Microsoft, who already had record high profits. This led to an $8 trillion debt that the middle class had to pay off. Yet Donald Trump said the middle class was struggling when he assumed the presidency, but only gave them a 1 to 2% temporary tax cut, and then tossed an $8 trillion debt at them. So there you go, buddy. I repeated it for you. Can you justify that? Why did he do that? Again, you seem like a smart... you seem like an intelligent... you seem like a person with a... with a brain... Can you tell me why he did that? That really hurt. Can you hurry up and unmute and justify it? Do you know how to unmute your phone? You can unmute yourself whenever you're ready, Pookie. I'll just keep waiting here. Just like you were waiting for your daddy when he left to go get that milk. Keep waiting. I assume just like your daddy, you're not coming back. So I'll be here. Folks, while we're waiting, feel free to support me. My Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App are in my bio. I use those funds as I travel the swing state of Pennsylvania, meeting voters to turn out the vote for Kamala. The day after tomorrow's election day, so now's the time to support if you want to support. All right, I can't even call him smart. I'm really trying. I'm really trying. Oh gosh, it hurts. All right, he's clearly Googling something here. We all recognize that he's clearly Googling. Like, he's not unmuting because he's Googling. Oh my gosh. Let's get up. Oh, he ran away. He ran away. Let's get some cow emojis in the chat. We got a runner. Yeah, we got a runner. Woo! We got a runner. Moo! Let's get some cow emojis in the chat, please. Moo! They're running like chickens. They're running like chickens. Let's get up our next guest. That might have been a lot. But it was worth it, you know? It was worth the cowbell and the chicken, I think.
Hello? Hello?
I am not listening to that voice for the next 15 minutes. I would rather listen to nails on a chalkboard. No offense, but, you know. There are surgeries to get that voice changed, and I would be more than happy to recommend some sources. Hello, guest. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
Nope. Kamala 2024.
Hey, let's get some W Kamalas in the chat. That's awesome. Let's get up our next guest. All right, no way I'm listening to that voice for 15 minutes. I honestly, I'd rather be handcuffed to JD Vance and a couch. Joseph, thank you so much for the $20. That is beyond kind. Thank you so much, Joseph. Thank you. Hello, guest. Are you voting for Donald Trump? Okay, let's get up our next guest. Again, if you're voting for Donald Trump, join the guest request. Let's have a conversation. Don't be shy. Well, or you probably should be shy, let's be honest. Hello, guest. Are you voting for Trump?
Before we get started...
No, I don't wait for something. Oh, before we get started, I'm just going to move on. I don't need to hear your life upbringing, right? No offense, I just really don't care. Sorry. Maybe I led you on to think I care about your upbringing. I don't need the whole Disney Channel franchise movie. I just don't need the 3-part series. I'd rather just talk about the candidates. Hello?
Hey. Hello?
The next person to come up with, like, you know, some sort of European accent to tell me that I should or shouldn't vote for a candidate, I'm going to personally go buy a bucket of tea off of Amazon and toss it into the Boston Harbor. I won't even hesitate. I'm already looking up tea on Amazon. Hello, guest. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
You're darn right I am.
Oh, goodness gracious. And where's that accent from? Alabama?
No, in truth, I'm from Canada, and I'm trying to sound like a guy from Alabama. I will admit.
All right. I just purchased a bucket of tea off of Amazon, and it's going right into the ocean. I want to say a big thank you to Barbara for the love on Cash App. Thank you so much, Barbara. Let's get up our next guest. Again, if you're voting for Donald Trump, join the guest request. Let's have a conversation. Don't be shy. Coming up. Come on up. I don't need a bunch of keyboard warriors in my chat box. I need Donald Trump supporters in my guest requests. Hello, guest. Are you voting for the criminal? Okay, it's a little early to be sundown. Oh, come on. You took way too long to answer that. That ain't my fault. That's your fault. Don't let anybody tell you that I just kicked you. I said, are you voting for Trump? I counted to 5. You did not answer. Then I kick you. And at the moment I kick you, you answered. That's on you, bud. That ain't on me. I tried. I really tried. I was like, let me get this guy up here. I'm going to conversate with him.
Yo.
Hello. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
Yes, I am indeed.
Gotcha. And why do you hate America? I mean, why are you voting for Donald Trump? Yeah,
Because
same thing. What are we even doing?
He's a way better candidate than Kamala Harris is.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Next time I ask you, what's your favorite kind of food? Don't say, I like the edible kind. Give me a list of ingredients and a recipe. Why are you voting for Donald Trump?
You want to pick the better thing.
Why are you voting for Donald Trump?
Because he's a better candidate than Kamala Harris is. So I don't want to vote for Kamala Harris.
Okay,
I'd
so
rather
again,
vote for the
you have
better
on one
candidate.
side of the aisle a district attorney, an attorney general, senator, and vice president. Somebody who led the largest Department of Justice, second only to the U.S. Department of Justice, in a state that had the 5th largest economy in the world. Somebody who led the largest law enforcement department in the United States. Chuck, thank you so much for the $24. I appreciate it. 24 for 2024. Thank you so much, Chuck. That is so nice. And then you, on the other hand, have Donald Trump, who said that we should defund the police on April 5th, 2023, who said that we should defund the police, who violated the Constitution with his bump stock ban. Donald Trump, right, who is a felon, sexual abuser, and civil fraudster, somebody that Kamala Harris would typically prosecute. Are you saying he's not a felon?
Indeed.
Is that what you just said? Heather, thank you so much for the $20. Guest, Heather wants me to tell you. Excuse me. Do you hear me? Do you hear me all right? Is my mic cutting out? Do you hear me, guest?
Yeah, I hear you.
Good. Cool. I want you to hear this. Heather just sent $20. She said that she hates you and she wants me to tell you that. So there you go. I did it. Thank you, Heather. And thank you, guest, for being so easily hateable. It's because of you that I just made $20, and I can't wait to use those funds to travel around the swing state of Pennsylvania and continue meeting voters. So you're single-handedly helping us elect Kamala, and that's a big W for our guests. Let's get some W Heathers and some W guests in the chat. So help me better understand this. Donald Trump is the felon. Are you saying he's the victim of political persecution, or are you saying he didn't commit the crime? What are you saying here?
I'm not sure if he did commit the crime, but
you're not sure if he committed the crime? That's okay. Then just ask the criminal justice system, the unanimous jury that ruled he's guilty of the crime. Right? Stacy, thank you so much for the $5. I appreciate the love. Stacy, excuse me. Stacy wanted me to tell you that she does not like you. Do you hear me? Stacy wanted me to tell you that she does not like you. So there you go. Anyway, let's better understand this then. Why is Donald Trump not a felon in your eyes when Donald Trump, right, was found guilty by a unanimous jury appointed by his own lawyers? So he paid Republican lawyers to appoint a jury, and that jury found him guilty. Why are you saying that that jury was wrong, or that his lawyers are wrong?
Guilty of what?
34 felony counts of falsifying business records, checks, and statements, found liable of sexual abuse, and found liable of civil fraud. Yeah, I just did. It's falsifying business records, checks, and statements. Those are the 34 felony counts. I'm not reading it. I'm trying to read a message. Excuse me. Gabrielle just sent $10 to tell this guy that... Pardon me. Again, Gabrielle just sent $10 for me to tell you that she hates you. Thank you, Gabrielle, for the $10. And again, guest, thank you for being so easily hated. It's because of people like you that we're going to win this election. Okay. And guest, you should really consider reading, right? I mean, I feel like reading is a good thing. I know that you and literacy probably aren't in a relationship, but let's get back into it. Oh, let's see. Why might I be hateful?
Yeah. I mean, aren't
Let's think. Nope. at one point, Democrats went high when you went low. That's no longer the case. Now, when you go low, we're going to drag you down further. The fact of the matter is, we became hateful in your eyes when you stripped away Roe v. Wade. You stripped away the law of the land. You stripped away a woman's right to choose without even providing her with a policy that economically benefited her after she gave birth. We became hateful in your eyes when you stripped transgender Americans out of the military for simply trying to serve and defend and protect their country. The country that apparently, in your eyes, hates them. That's disgusting. We became hateful in your eyes when you told a black American that their vote might not count as much as that of a white American. That's when we became hateful. We became hateful. We became hateful when you told LGBTQ plus Americans that they can love how they want to love, but just not in America. We became hateful when you blocked the bipartisan border deal, yet run around harping on border security as though you actually care. You don't care. Don't tell us we're hateful. You're just mad because we no longer go high when you go low. When you go low, and sorry to Michelle Obama, but when you go low, we drag you down further. And respectfully, you can bite us because we are going to defeat you on Tuesday. Let's get up our next guest. I'm not going to keep listening to somebody who doesn't even know where he is. If I wanted to listen to somebody's sundown, I would get my community service in and go into a retirement home. I'm even talking to some sort of MAGA Republican about it. Noah, thank you so much for the $10. I appreciate the Cash App. Thank you so much for the love, Noah. Noah, for that guest, tell him that he does not like... Yep, Noah, he's gone now. But to that guest who just left, Noah hates you. Thank you, Noah, for the $10. I appreciate the love. Folks, if you haven't already, in the bottom right-hand corner here, the account that says Johnny Palmadessa, that is my backup account. Please make sure that you follow that account, just in case we ever need it. Tiffany, hi, are you voting for Donald Trump?
It's me and my wife, but Tiffany's my wife's name. Anyway, yes, we're voting for Donald Trump.
Gotcha. So question, is Tiffany also your sister?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, I just assumed. I mean, I heard, you said you were voting for Trump, and, I know that MAGA Republicans like to keep it in the family. Cammy, thank you so much for the $20. That is beyond kind. Thank you so much, Cammy. I appreciate the love. Cammy wanted me to tell you that she thinks this relationship is a sin. Anyway, so why are you voting for Donald Trump?
That is a hateful speech.
Pardon me. Why are you voting for Donald Trump?
No, I asked you a simple question.
All right, let's move on. Apparently they think I'm playing. I'm not the one. Sorry, we don't have time for this, right? I don't have time to listen to a MAGA Republican complain about their sensitive feelings. I need to have a conversation here. If you're voting for Donald Trump, join my guest request. Let's have a conversation. Mitza, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal. That is beyond kind. Thank you so much for the love. Hello, guest. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
Yeah.
That's
Can you hear
disgusting.
Me?
Oh, I wish I couldn't.
Well, before you go there.
Oh, gosh.
I want to
voice.
explain me.
I want to explain that it might be time to seek a cough drop. Oh, my God.
All right. Keep going with that. I grew up a Democrat, so I see both sides.
If I had a nickel for every time you MAGA Republicans came up here and said you voted Democrat your whole life or that you grew up Democrat, I would be a fucking billionaire, right? You all say the same thing. It's just not true. So don't tell me about your upbringing, because respectfully, you could save the Disney Channel movie for Netflix. I don't care to hear it. Why are you voting for the sexual abuser, civil fraudster, and felon? If you could respond to that, that would be great.
Let's see.
Hold on. I need you to for a second. Dang, Christopher, thank you so much for the $100. I'm sorry, can I see please, can I see like 1,000 W Christophers in the chat? Guess because of you. Oh my God, because of you, Christopher just dropped $100 to support me as I'm meeting voters across the swing state of Pennsylvania these next 2 days. That is beyond kind, Christopher. Thank you so much for the love. And guess, thank you for being so easily hated, because it's because of you that I just received $100 to go spend on gas so that I could continue traveling and meeting voters these next 2 days. I appreciate it. Thank you, guest, for being so easily disliked. And thank you, Christopher, for the love. Christopher, that is beyond kind. Thank you so much, Christopher. Let's get back into it. So you're, did you talk about your sister wife? Where were we talking about? Your sister's wife? No,
that wasn't me. That was the previous guy.
Oh, right. You're the one whose voice sounds like that. Anyway, so why are you voting for the felon?
Well, let's see. When he was in office, if you wanted to buy a house, I'm not sure if you have. You probably have by making all your hate comments.
Oh wow! Oh God! It's not only the voice, but you can't even get a coherent sentence out. Pick your battle, man. Do you want to do the incoherent sentences, or do you want to do the voice? Really, pick your battle. You can't have it both ways now, right? right?
I would dominate you in any battle.
I really wish you wouldn't dominate me. That'd be disgusting.
I'm
But I don't know why
you
you're fantasizing about your fetishes. I'm asking you
my
again, why are
fetishes.
you voting for the criminal?
Well, if
You're
you
talking
wouldn't-
about the
if you
housing
quit
market.
interrupting, I would actually say.
I'm gonna do everybody a public service and just stop that voice from speaking for a couple seconds. Let's do a quick little reset. Guest, you're talking about the housing market. That's fine and dandy. I hear you. I get it. I get it. I get it. I hear you. I want to say, Cammie, thank you so much for the $10. I appreciate the love on behalf of Pennsylvania. Thank you to our Pennsylvanians out there. Thank you so much. Proud to be a Pennsylvanian myself. But guest, I want to better understand this, okay? You're saying that you're voting based off of the housing market. Housing market goes up. Housing market goes down. Housing market goes up. Housing market goes down. There was a global pandemic. Interest rates are going to go up. I don't blame Donald Trump for the high-end interest rates. I won't blame Joe Biden for that either. Right? Because you can either blame both of them or blame neither of them. I choose to blame neither of them because I don't think they caused the pandemic. But I get that you MAGA Republicans don't do that. You guys have your conspiracies. You think JFK Jr. is still alive. Blah, 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 blah. I believe in reality. They ain't caused the pandemic, so they didn't cause those housing costs to increase. But if you want to see lower costs on homes, vote for Kamala Harris, who will give you a $25,000 first-time homeowners credit so that you can purchase a home. Get your foot into the literal door. Oh my gosh, Mitza, what? Mitza just dropped $80. Mitza! Guys, stop! Thank you so much, Mitza, for the love. That is beyond kind. Mitza wanted me to tell you that she deeply dislikes you, guest. So I hope you know that. Thank you so much, Mitza, for the love. I really appreciate it. Guest, so anyway, if you can unmute, tell me one economic policy that Donald Trump passed that benefited middle-class Americans during his first term. Go ahead.
The tax cut.
What was the tax cut he gave to the middle class?
He did it on big corporations, which means...
What was the tax cut Donald Trump gave to the middle class? Jessica, thank you for the $15. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
On a side note, though...
Can you just tell me the tax cut for the middle class?
You realize
tax cut for the middle class?
You realize
tax cut for the middle class? Tax cut for the middle class? Tax cut for the middle class?
And what you're doing right now is going to...
Tax cut for the middle class. Did I stutter?
It's
my
make
gosh.
them build themselves.
Tax
You're
cut
the
for the...
that...
Oh my gosh. Get out of my live. My gosh. You're not going to answer my question and then spew your nonsense? Get out. Goodness gracious. Hello, guest. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
Yeah, I'm 25. I'm voting for Donald Trump.
Okay, and why do you hate America? I mean, why are you voting for Donald Trump?
I don't know. I was going to actually debate you, but
Well, I'm trying to ask you a question, and you just dodged it right off the get-go of this conversation. So if you want to debate me, let's start by you answering my question. I said, why are you voting for Donald Trump? And you didn't answer. Why are you voting for Donald Trump? And maybe this time speak coherently.
Listen. Okay, I'm going to get it to you right now.
Okay.
All right, listen
I'm
here,
sure this
boy.
will absolutely, I'm sure that this will be very coherent
all right, listen
and have
here,
some sort
boy.
of substance
Catch
to it. It
my
certainly won't be
dick and
incoherent
get
at
it out
all.
your damn mouth.
Okay.
You heard me?
Are you good?
You heard me?
I have no idea what he's talking about. Okay. Anyway, folks, if you haven't already, in the bottom right-hand corner here, you see an account that says Johnny Palmadessa. Hit the follow button on that little account there. That's my backup account, just in case we ever need it. Just in case we ever need it. In that bottom left-hand corner there, hit the follow button on that account. I'm going to remove that account in just a moment, so now's the time again. In the bottom left-hand corner, hit the follow button on that account. That is my backup account, just in case we ever need it. Let's get up our next guest. Hello? Hello? Okay, Ogle, let's get up the next guest, Omegle. Folks, if you're voting for Donald Trump, join the guest request right now. Here's what we're going to do going forward. If you are voting for Donald Trump and you comment a single thing in my comment section and you are not in my guest request, you are going to be blocked. Because I don't need keyboard warriors in my chat. I need Trump supporters in my guest requests. Got it? Understood? Great. If you're voting for Donald Trump, get into my guest request. Do not comment if you're not in my guest request. Don't be a snowflake. Be a patriot. Join my guest requests. Hello, guest. Are you voting for the criminal?
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get information on the.
Oh yeah, hold on.
Sorry,
One
I'm so
second.
sorry. I did not mean to.
No, you're good. You're good. Hold on one sec.
You're cool. Though.
Fetus deletus. Folks, I really need you to, if you're a Trump supporter, come on up. Don't be shy. Come on. Don't be scared. You just gonna keep breathing into the microphone like that? I mean, may I recommend a machine to help you alleviate whatever is clogging up your nose? Are you voting for Donald Trump? Okay, let's get up our next guest. Can we get some W Kamalas in the chat, please? Let's get some W Kamalas in the chat, because at this rate, I mean, listen, these Trumpers ain't got anything on Kamala. They're just running in circles, and the election's the day after tomorrow, so I feel great about this. I mean, if this is the best that Trumpers have got, whew, they're not sending their best. Hello, guest. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
Hey, how you doing, bro?
Depends. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Well, then I'm not doing so well. Why ask? Why are you voting for a criminal, convicted felon, and sexual abuser?
So the reason I'm voting for Donald Trump is because he ran our country pretty well for 4 years, and
let's start anew. This time, when you tell me why you're voting for Donald Trump, maybe talk about a policy or a stance. Maybe say something coherently. Are you driving right now? You are driving right now. Here's the thing. Stacy, thank you for the love. I appreciate the $10. Here's the thing. I get that you MAGA Republicans want to vote for Donald Trump because he's a felon, but you don't have to become a felon yourself, right? You don't have to become a felon yourself. Okay? Don't text and drive. Just a thought. All right, we might need to do a live stream restart if we can't get any Trumpers up here. Again, if you're voting for Donald Trump, join the guest request right now. There's a lot of MAGA Republicans commenting. Hey, if you're voting for Donald Trump, comment MAGA. If you're voting for Donald Trump, comment MAGA. Because I'm going to invite you up here. Brooklyn, thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the love on Venmo, Brooklyn. Thank you, thank you. Hello, guest. Are you voting for Donald Trump? Oh, I see the profile photo. You ain't voting for Trump. That's a Kamala supporter right there. Good to see our fellow Kamala supporters. Slowly but surely, gonna get somebody up here. Probably not though, because all the Trumpers are running scared. Boo doo boo boo doo boo 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 boo. Hello, guest. Are you voting for Donald Trump? I was gonna troll you right back. That's too funny. He straight up troll. Oh, it's just two trolls. I was literally about to do the chicken. I was just about to troll him right back, and then he does the toilet flush. You know what? Great minds think alike. That's phenomenal. That actually has me giggling. That was funny. We both trolled each other at the same time. That is funny. That is effing funny. Man. Hello, Joe. Are you voting for the criminal? Okay, bye, Joe. Stinks. I think that was JD Vance. Do they still got him locked in the closet? It's just JD Vance and Vivek Ramaswamy in the closet. Just two guys. Certainly nothing going on. Hello, guest. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
It depends.
On?
Are you going to yell?
Probably.
Are you going to get irate?
Probably.
Are you going to speak over me?
Probably, yeah. Are you new here?
Then
dude, I'm
not.
Italian. That's called life. Get over it.
Yeah.
Speaking of, where's our Italians in the chat? Where are y'all at? Excuse me, shut up. I wasn't talking to you. Take a second. Quiet time. Where's our Italians at? Can we get some W's Italy in the chat? Where's our Italians? Where's our Italian Americans? Where are y'all at? Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, so guess you might be new here. You joined an Italian chat. That's on you, man. First mistake, right? So tell me again, and this time without all the crying and nagging and whining because I don't need to hear it. I'm not married to you, so I don't care. Why are you voting for a criminal? Unmute and hurry up.
I want to know what Kamala did.
I want to know why you're voting for Donald Trump, but apparently we're both not going to get what we want here. Can you answer the question? Why are you voting for Donald Trump? Why are you voting for Donald Trump?
That's it.
All right, one more time. I asked you, why are you voting for Donald Trump? You're almost on the third strike. 3 strikes and you're out. Understood? Great. Unmute. Tell me, why are you voting for Donald Trump? If you can't answer this question, how am I supposed to believe that you're going to be able to answer questions in relation to policy and statistics, which I'm planning on asking you in a few minutes from now? Like, if you can't answer why you're voting for Trump, you clearly ain't going to be able to answer anything of substance, right? Right? So why are you voting for Trump? This one shouldn't be that hard. This should be pretty easy. Go ahead. Come on, Pookie, hurry up. Let's go. Come on, Pookie! Pookie, answer the question. Let's go. Maybe I'll help you if you hear from somebody who looks a little familiar. It's oh, that wig is backwards. Hold on. Let me fix that for you. All right, Big Daddy, here you go. Come on, guess why you're voting for the convicted felon, Donald J. Trump, the 45th convicted felon of these United States. You look at China, you look at Russia, and everybody agrees. Johnny's very nice. He's asking you a simple question. Unmute. Tell me why you voted for Donald J. Trump.
One accomplishment. That's all I'm asking for.
Dude, the Inflation Reduction Act, American Rescue Plan, CHIPS and Science Act, Infrastructure Package. Now, before you pivot, I need you to tell me, why are you voting for Donald Trump?
He runs a country like a business.
That doesn't make any sense. He ran a country like the business the first time around. It gave us an $8 trillion debt. It gave us a $230 billion tax hike. That is true. That is true. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Get me a fact check. Go ahead.
Show me.
Fact check. Go get me one. Give me a fact check. Oh, wait. Prove me wrong. Hey, prove me wrong. You just said I was wrong? Give me a fact check. Let's go. Hurry up. Boom, boom. Now, let's also better understand this. You're going to say that Donald Trump was a good businessman in the sense of running the country, or a good businessman in the sense of his own operation. Donald Trump went bankrupt 6 times. Listen, 1 bankruptcy? Okay. I might even call you smart if you had 1 bankruptcy, because maybe you claim that to get some money back. 2 bankruptcies? All right, now you're getting a little... that's a little untrustworthy. 6 bankruptcies, including a casino? How do you bankrupt a casino? How does a good businessman bankrupt a fucking casino? The whole point of a casino is to take money. You take money from people. How you fuck that up? Huh? How do you mess that up? That's like saying, oh, my bank went bankrupt. Huh? What? And he owes $488 million to the state of New York. So Donald Trump won business-wise, not doing so well. He's in debt. Hundreds of millions of dollars in debt, and went bankrupt 6 times. Now, let me also better understand this. You're saying he ran the country like a business. $230 billion tax hike on the middle class from his tariffs alone. And an additional $8 trillion debt. You tell me, is $8 trillion in debt a good business?
No, my friend.
Excuse me, is $8 trillion in debt a good business? I'm asking you a question. Answer, is $8 trillion in debt a good business? Because he put America $8 trillion in debt. You tell me, is that a good business? Come on, unmute Uncle Daddy. Let's go. Hurry up. I ain't got all night. Can you hurry up?
Are you going to be quiet?
Let me think. No. So answer the question. Thank you for the galaxy, by the way, Angela. I appreciate the love. Thank you so much. Can you answer the question? Is $8 trillion in debt a good business?
I'll wait till you shut the fuck up.
Is $8 trillion in debt a good business? Answer.
I'll wait till you shut the fuck up.
Hurry up, answer.
All you do
Hurry
is
up and answer. Hurry up and answer.
Moving
answer.
Up and down.
Hurry up and answer.
Shut the fuck up.
Hurry up. Let's go.
Shut the fuck up.
Answer.
Shut the fuck up.
All right, he's not engaging in the conversation. Let's move on. This one's just a crybaby. Folks, if you're voting for Donald Trump, join the guest request. Let's have a conversation about it. Don't be shy. If you can't hold your own, don't come up. Right? If you're just coming up here to cry about why your wife and husband left you, I don't know what to tell you. But you ain't going to find empathy out of me. Not when you're trying to strip away the right to choose from women across America. I ain't going to feel shit for you. All right. Christina, you there? Okay, guess not. Let's get up our next guest. Maybe we got to do a live stream restart. We might need to restart the live stream. Folks, if you haven't already, hit that follow button in the top left corner, right up there. It's a little follow button. It might look like a heart. It could be a plus sign. I don't really know. It's a little button in the top left corner. Hit that little button. Join our family. We'll love to. We'll treat you right, folks. Listen, you hit that follow button, you will be part of our family. We will love you forever. You'll be part of our team here. You know, you'll be part of our community. Guest, hi. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
Oh, sorry. I was just I just thought that you were
just
voting
for Donald Trump?
No, of course not. Sorry.
You're good. We will be talking to Kamala supporters later, so I do hope that you come back. Just for now, that we are just looking to talk to some Trump supporters. Hello, guest. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
Yes, I am.
How old are you?
18.
All right, hold on one sec. Fetus deletus, poof, and goodbye. Let's get up our next guest. That was not an 18-year-old. Folks, if your voice hasn't dropped yet, may I recommend going somewhere else? Hello, guest. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
Hi, Johnny. I love you. I just wanted to say that. Bye.
Stop it. I love you right back. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you. Let's get up our next guest. Slowly but surely. All right, this one ain't coming up. Gonna try a couple more, and then we'll probably do a live stream restart.
Hi, good evening.
Go, calm down.
Hello?
I didn't even say hello yet. My gosh, you jumped right in and said, "Let me get right into it." So I'm trying to ask you a question, and my question is, are you voting for Donald Trump?
Yes.
Why'd you hesitate?
I didn't hesitate. I said yes. My Wi-Fi is bad. I just heard you delay that question.
Okay, well, stop using MAGA Mobile. Like, why is that my fault? Ew. Stop projecting.
I never said it was your fault.
Okay, you don't need to harp on it. I don't need to hear the feelings. Okay, so why are you voting for the convicted felon, sexual abuser, and civil fraudster?
Because I want my taxes to be low again.
You want your taxes to be low again? Hunt, you're under Donald Trump's tax policy right now. You're under Donald Trump's tax policy right now. You understand that? Excuse me, pardon me. You just said that you want your tax low again. Your taxes low? You just said you want your taxes low again. Are you new here? Are you American? Because you know every voter from both sides. Okay, well, apparently then you're a very confused American, because most Americans, apparently not all, because you're the exception, I guess. So most Americans know that we're still under Donald Trump's tax policy. The tax policy,
well aware, yes.
Excuse me, you're not well aware. You just said you want your taxes lower once more, but you're under Donald Trump's tax policy. So make it make sense. Your taxes are the same today as they were then. You understand that?
What makes you think that?
Excuse me. You just said you want your taxes low. I'm asking you a question, and you just pivoted. You just said you want your taxes low again, and yet you just suggested that your taxes went up, but you're under Donald Trump's tax policy. His tax policy has not changed. Do you understand that? Do you understand that?
Are you going to continue muting me or not?
Until you answer, yeah.
Yeah, I will answer if you stop muting me.
Hurry up.
I will hurry up if I want to.
Can you
You're
move
just going
quicker
to sit there
here?
And listen to my answer.
This is giving
when
processing
Donald Trump
issue.
was in office and he wants to
Okay, so you can't respond. So you get muted again. Isn't that fun? Oh look, poof, muted. So tell me again. You just said that you want your taxes lower, but you are still under Donald Trump's tax policy. So how are your taxes higher today than they were under Donald Trump when the tax code has not changed? You are still under his tax policy. It did not. Monique, thank you so much for the galaxy. Dude, the tax policy lasts 8 years. This is an easy fact check. If you're saying I'm wrong, go look it up and come back. I'll play some music. You go look it up.
Well, you can keep that music on waiting because I already answered.
Go look. Poof. Go look. Come on, Pookie. Go on. Do some research. We're gonna listen to this first verse. Look at him aggressively unmuting himself. He is so easily triggered. Look at how easily, look at how easy I was able to trigger this MAGA Republican. Look at this.
Are you okay?
Look at this aggression. Look at how easy it was for me to trigger this MAGA Republican. That was so easy.
Are you done?
Yeah, so can you hurry up and respond?
Great. Oh my god, perfect. So as I was saying, you know how Trump Okay.
Continue.
So as I was saying, you know how Trump,
I get it. You're mad. Keep crying.
So Kamala.
Whenever you're ready.
What issues you got?
So you're still under Donald Trump's tax policy. Pardon me. You're still under Donald Trump's tax policy. Do you understand that? You just said that your taxes are higher today than they were. Excuse me. You just said that your taxes were higher today than they were under Donald Trump, but you're still under Donald Trump's tax policy. Do you understand that?
Hello?
Okay, let's move on. This one is like apparently broken. Let's throw it back into the water. Apparently not every fish is, intelligent. Let's get up a next one. Let's all go fishing. Oh, new prop. Somebody drop a 20. I'm going to get a new prop. It's going to be a fishing pole. From now on, we're going to go fishing. That's funny. Who's down for a fishing pole prop? We'll get some fish and throw them back. Woo! We're going to get some fish. Somebody drop a 50. We're getting a fishing pole. That's funny. I love that. I love that. Josh, hi. Are you voting for Donald Trump?
I am.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, so I had a quick question.
So why are you voting for the criminal?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. How come you're voting for Kamala?
Yeah, so you're voting for a criminal, and I'm voting for the prosecutor. I think that already speaks volumes on our character itself, but I'm more than happy to tell you why I'm voting for Kamala. May I put you on mute?
Yeah, that's fine.
Great. And I want to recognize that you pivoted immediately and didn't respond to my question as to why you were voting for Donald Trump. And that's because you can't. There's no reason to vote for Donald Trump, and you know that. I'm voting for Kamala Harris because this is a middle-class black woman who became a district attorney even though she had no right doing so in America because every card was socioeconomically stacked up against her. I mean, this woman persevered, though, becoming not only a district attorney, but an attorney general, leading the largest Department of Justice, second only to the United States Department of Justice, in a state that had the 5th largest economy in the world. The largest law enforcement department in the United States. This is the law and order candidate. This is the felon. I picked the prosecutor. You picked the criminal. I'm picking the senator and vice president who gave us the Inflation Reduction Act, the American Rescue Plan, the CHIPS and Science Act, and the infrastructure package. I'm voting for the candidate that created double the amount of jobs that Donald Trump created. 400,000 on a monthly average, 178,000 on a monthly average, not including pandemic jobs created or lost. I'm voting for the candidate Kamala Harris, who believes in freedom. Donald Trump doesn't know a word or thing or belief behind freedom. He looks at freedom and he thinks that freedom is something you can just violate for the hell of it. You look at Kamala Harris. This is somebody who believes in the right to choose. She says, hey, women, I'm going to fight for you. But if you choose to have a baby, then I'm going to financially support you with a $6,000 permanent child tax credit. Donald Trump says, women, I'm going to strip away your right in its entirety and then gaslight you into thinking that I will protect the 3 exceptions of rape, incest, life of the mother. Even though Donald Trump overturning Roe v. Wade led to women like Kate Cox being unable to seek an abortion for her non-viable pregnancy. Even though it led to women like Amber Thurman losing their lives. But Donald Trump will continue gaslighting women, and women are just not falling for it, right? They're just not falling for it. That's why you MAGA Republicans are so angry and working so hard to control them, because they're not falling for your bullshit anymore, right? Yeah, that's the thing here. You tried controlling women, and now you got one running for president, and she's going to kick the ass of your candidate. You look at Donald Trump, and again, you have a sexual abuser, a civil fraudster, a felon. You have somebody who violated the Constitution. Not just when he told Mike Pence to overthrow the government, overthrow the will of the people, and keep Donald Trump in office. Not only when he incited the textbook definition of an insurrection at our Capitol on January 6th of 2021. No. Donald Trump violated the Second Amendment. How ironic is that when Donald Trump implemented his bump stock ban via executive order, having been overturned in June of this year by his own Supreme Court. That's Amy Coney Barrett. That's Brett Kavanaugh. That's Neil whatever his name is. Gorsuch? Nobody cares. That's them saying that Donald Trump violated the Second Amendment. So he is the first modern day president to be a constitutional violator. He is the first modern day president to be an insurrectionist. He is the first modern day president to be twice impeached. He is the first modern day president to be a sexual abuser, civil fraudster, 34-time convicted felon who falsified business records, checks, and statements. He is the first time at that, but Kamala Harris, now she's going to be the first woman to be president. So I'm going to pick the first woman to be president who has a record of delivering on her promises. Donald Trump's never delivered on a promise. He said he was going to build the wall. He didn't. He said Mexico was going to pay for it. They didn't. He said that he was going to build an infrastructure package. He didn't. But Kamala did. And Kamala got it passed. Donald Trump said, hey, I'm going to replace the ACA with my healthcare plan. It's been 10 years. It has been a decade. Still no healthcare plan. Still no healthcare plan. So you want to ask me why I'm voting for Kamala Harris? Well, again, it's because Kamala Harris has middle-class policies that will support me, it will support you, it will support those in the chat. It'll be a $10,000 tax incentive on top of a $25,000 down payment for first-time home buyers, $50,000 for small business entrepreneurs, $6,000 permanent child tax credit. Again, Donald Trump doesn't have a single policy to support a mother after she is forced to give birth. Donald Trump doesn't care about small businesses either. I mean, we know that because Donald Trump during his first term implemented a 14% corporate tax deduction, the hiked up cost of middle class consumers by $8 trillion in his national debt, and he played with tariffs like a 15 to 25% tariff on agriculture that led to a $230 billion tax hike on produce. And middle class Americans and small businesses paid for that as farmers and small farms went out of business. They had an export crisis, surplus issue, supply and demand issue, and Donald Trump steamrolled them alongside union workers for the benefit of corporations who were already making a record high profit like Microsoft. And then those corporations kicked salt in our eyes by doing what? By doing what? Feeding into greedflation and shrinkflation. For example, when Gatorade hiked up the cost on their product and then shrunk down the size of 2 to 4 ounces? More expensive, smaller in size. That's the Gatorade slogan. Donald Trump's slogan as well. Then you have Kroger, who just 6 weeks ago admitted to price gouging across the board. And they're now getting held up in court for that. Kamala Harris is going to ban the practice of price gouging. Donald Trump, he's going to empower that practice. He wants more price gouging in America. I don't. I want lower costs. And Kamala Harris is delivering on that too. The inflation rate today is 2.1%. The inflation rate in 2018 under Donald Trump before the pandemic, 2.4%. Higher inflation under Donald Trump, lower inflation under Kamala Harris. Higher costs because of Donald Trump, lower costs because of Kamala Harris. Freedom for Kamala Harris, anti-freedom for Donald Trump. Second Amendment with Kamala Harris. Impeding on the Second Amendment, Donald Trump. Prosecutor Kamala Harris. Felon Donald Trump. Pro-choice, believing in the right to choose, and then supporting a woman if she chooses to give birth, Kamala Harris. Pro-forced birth, Donald Trump. Pro-democracy, Kamala Harris. Pro-authoritarianism, fascism, Donald Trump. And that's not me calling him a fascist. That is Donald Trump's own chief of staff, John Kelly, calling him a fascist. And that whole, and on top of this, top of everything I just said, we ought to recognize that Donald Trump's own vice president won't campaign or run with him on the fact that he asked Mike Pence to overthrow the Constitution, dissolve amendments within the Constitution to keep himself in power. That's a problem. But you move the goalpost. You MAGA Republicans move the goalpost every single time. Donald Trump incites an insurrection, you move that goalpost. You say that's fine. I ain't care for our democracy anyway. Donald Trump violates the Constitution. You move the goalpost and you say, that's fine. You know what? That Constitution, that was outdated. It's old. It's old news. Donald Trump violates the Second Amendment. You move that goalpost and you say, I didn't care about the Second Amendment that much. I didn't care. That's old news, right? Who cared about that thing? I think a bunch of old guys wrote that Constitution anyway. Throw it out. Donald Trump's own chief of staff, who oversees in his entire administration, calls him a fascist. You move the goalpost. You say fascism isn't that bad. I heard it's doing great in North Korea. It's not that bad. Donald Trump commits sexual abuse. You move the goalpost. You say women were asking for it. Donald Trump overthrows the will of the people. Overthrows Roe v. Wade, a decades-fought fight. Law of the land for 50 years. You say, I don't think women are equal to men. Donald Trump says Puerto Rico's trash. Just last week, what do? You move the goalpost. You say, Puerto Ricans, it's all the same thing. Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, they're all the same. Who cares, right? Get out the Puerto Ricans. They're not American. That's what you say. You move that goalpost. And you start bashing the Puerto Rican people. Shame on you. Shame on you. So let's get this right. Your candidate is a felon, a sexual abuser, a civil fraudster, a constitutional violator, twice impeached, 34 counts of felonies, called a fascist by his own chief of staff. His own administration will not endorse him. They're endorsing Kamala Harris, alongside 700 national security advisors, but y'all want to talk about the border. And then his own vice president won't run with him, so he's left with the likes of J.D. Vance. Because only J.D. Vance will actually run with him at this point. That is how far of a loser Donald Trump has become. And then Kamala Harris is a prosecutor from a middle-class background who has a strong record in law enforcement, and you say that she has to prove to you why she is qualified for the role. She is overqualified. And Donald Trump, you don't blink a second blink. You don't ask a single question. You don't ask why he buried his wife on a golf course. You don't ask why he's $488 million in debt. You don't ask why he violated the Constitution. You just keep moving that goalpost. I hope you sit on that, and I hope that teaches you something. I hope that teaches you something. Let's get up our next guest. Folks, if you like what you're hearing today and you want to support me as I continue meeting voters across the swing state of Pennsylvania, sharing that message with folks across the country, my Venmo, PayPal, Cash App are in my bio. But feel no pressure to support me that way. If you haven't already, hit that follow button in the top left corner and join our little family. I'd love for you to be part of our team that we got going on here. We're going to try to get up one more guest. Let's see. The bar is just so low with MAGA Republicans at this point. It's insane. All right, this one's not coming up. Folks, we're going to do a live stream restart, okay? So if you haven't already, hit that follow button in the top left corner. Join our team. Join our community. The election is the day after tomorrow. So I want you to be part of the family that we are building here, okay? Because we have a lot of work to do in less than 48 hours. I mean, guys, if you haven't already, now seriously is the time. Join our family. Join the community we're building. Continue hitting that follow button. We're going to be back in about 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. We're going to do a quick little live stream restart, and then we're going to jump back on in and have some conversations, okay? Till then, I do want every MAGA Republican in the chat, do yourself a favor. Go look up where Ivana Trump is married. Go look up where Ivana Trump is buried. Because that answer is going to shock you. And he did it all for a tax cut, for a little tax incentive. Buried his wife on a golf course for a tax cut. Go look it up. And then you tell me how that is good character. You tell me how that's good character. Yeah, a lot of folks didn't know that. It's pretty gross, ain't it? All right, folks, we'll be back in 5 minutes. We'll be right back with more conversations and debates. We'll be back after these messages.